Hello dear learners, this is Dr. Sedupati, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science, Artificial Intelligence and Data Science, Dr. SNS Rajalakshmi College of Arts and Science, Coimbatore. So today's topic will be processes in operating system. So agenda for today's discussion will be process definition, how process concept implemented in memory and memory layout of a C programming, with how process handles the each and every block of code from the C program, and process state diagram and process control block. And here is the definition for the process. In an operating system, every segment of instruction from user side is considered as variety of programs that run as a process. A process is actually a program in execution. Process execution must progress in a sequential fashion or in a continuous queue of fashion. There will not be any parallel execution of program or processes or instruction in a single process. While coming to multiple parts of processes, there is a program code which also called a text section. The current activity of that particular program segment include program counter and processor registers. There is a stack memory which contains temporary data like functions, function parameters or argument list, address of the function or address of the variable which stores the data, and local global variables. And there is a data section which contains the global and local variables, and there is a heap memory which contains the memory allocation section. And a program is basically a passive entity which stored in the memory disk and with the executable file, whereas a process is an active entity while considering from operating system. A program becomes process when an executable file is loaded into the memory. Whenever the program stored in the secondary memory, it will not be considered as a process. When the secondary memory program code or executable file loaded into the main memory, then it will be called as process. Execution of a program started via graphical user interface, mouse clicks, command line entry, and so on. A program can have several processes considering multiple users executing the same program. Here is the syntax of how process stored in the memory. There is a stack section, and there is a heap section, there is a data section, and there is a text section. Here is an example for how a program, when stored into main memory, which segmented as a process. There is a simple C program. In the C program, there is a simple text content which is stored in the low memory text area, and the variables with initialized data stored in the separate memory called initialized data, and uninitialized local variables are stored in the uninitialized data area. And there is a stack segment with heap memory area which is used to create and allocate memory allocation during the runtime of the program, which is actually called dynamic memory allocation. And apart from that, while you are giving argument from the main function which are stored in the highest priority memory. This is simple process memory layout of a C program. And next, coming to process state. Each and every process created and used inside an operating system have 5 different states. Here there is a list of different states of a process new, which is actually a newly created process, and running and waiting, ready and terminated. Each have its unique meaning. And here is the process state diagram. Actually, new process state diagram is once a new executable file created, the new process state is created, and then it is admitted to ready state. Once the process becomes to ready state means the process actually moved from secondary memory to main memory. Once it is moved to ready main memory, and then it stayed from ready state to running state, because in main memory only all the executable files are executed, then the process is executed in the main memory. If any interrupt occurs, the running process is again returned back to ready state. If any interrupt occurs, otherwise the running process may exit to terminated state once the process has complete its running. Also, sometimes a running process can able to wait for some other input or output or even wait occurrence. During this situation, the running state of a process is transferred to waiting state or scheduled state. Those processes are waited in a queue. Once it got the input or output even completion, again the process moved to the ready state for the execution. And here is the process control block. What are all the memory organization or control blocks available in the process states? From the right side diagram, you can able to see there are process state, number of processes and program counter, and there is a register memory and the size or limit of the memory, and a list of open files or resources which controlled by the each and every process. Actually, process states are running, waiting and so on, as we discussed in the previous topic. And the program counter is nothing but location or the instruction to next execute, or in which program or process to execute in the upcoming process. And the CPU registers are nothing but contents of all processes which are stored in the centric registers. And the scheduling of information from central processing unit is like priorities are the queue of memory pointers. Memory management information is nothing but memory allocated to the process, from which memory the process is actually loaded from the secondary memory to the main memory. And the accounting information is like the clock or time elapsed, or when did the actual process starts and so on. And input output status information is like what are the devices actually incorporated with the each and every process, and what are the devices or input output things have to be wait for each and every process is listed. And another simple concept here is threads. A process has a single thread of execution. While you considering multiple program counters per process, a multiple memory location can able to locate at once. It's like no process will be executed in a parallel or multiple way. While you need to do that thing, you supposed to go for thread concept. In thread concept, you supposed to have storage for thread details or multiple program counters in process control block. These things will be discussed in the upcoming topics. Thank you, dear learners, for your patient listening. We'll see you in the upcoming topic. Thank you once again.